Happy Friday. Welcome to the Gardener's Workshop live shopping show. And I'm going to say this, and then this is the last word. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody. But today's show is going to be a little bit different. So I just want to welcome all of our flower friends. And I just really thank you for taking the time out of your busy holiday season to relax and hang out with me. Because let me just tell you that Suzanne, Susie, and I literally just ate our lunch in front of the fire in the Christmas tree. That is not something that normally happens at our lunchtime during a work day. So we're already just kind of ready for this step away from the holidays for just a little while and get our P's in a row here. So can you believe this is the last live show of the year? I mean, 2024 is just over the horizon, y'all, and right on the other side is seed starting. So we are going to be going through a bunch of seed starting stuff today to make sure you have everything you need. You've got your peas lined up, and I'm going to be doing a soil blocking demonstration and sowing some seeds. I'm going to be doing the 3/4 inch and the 2 inch. And we also today on the show have a few of those 2023 grab bags still available. Y'all, embrace the mystery. There's 6 packs in different groups, greatly reduced. It's the time anyway, so you'll see them. And today we are going to also be going through some of the cool flower, dried flowers, as well as a few warms that I just could not resist, and showing you what they look like dried. And we have a prize drawing today. You know, I love giving stuff away, right? And there's a live Q&A at the end. So we'll tell you all about that. And so what you need to do, if you have a question you'd like for me to answer, you can just type it in the comments and put the @Lisa, and that way the girls will know to grab that, and I'll answer as many as I can at the end of the show. Particularly, man, if this is the time, if you got seed starting questions, bring them on, friends. You know, there is no dumb question. The only dumb question are those that you don't ask when you get an opportunity, right? So before we get started, we would appreciate it very much if you'd hit the share button that's down in the bottom corner of your app, because that lets your friends know that we're live, and you can invite them to come over to maybe just take a break, get a beverage, grab your lunch, invite them to come on over and have lunch with you through the app, right? And you can comment and carry on with one another. So friends, I want to also say that you can't get it in the app. However, my new book, the Cut Flower Handbook, y'all, it's going to be out in no time. We are going to have it out, in just a couple of months. The Cut Flower Handbook is now available for pre-order over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com. Literally at the top of every page, there's a yellow banner that says pre-order the book. And you want to do that because, first off, it's a great instant gift. Because look at this sweet little gifting card that Suzanne made that comes, I think it comes literally on your confirmation email. So you can print this out and give it as a gift. We're given 2 resources with my book. One of them is a pre-order only resource. That means only the people that pre-order are going to get the Cool Flower Zone Guide. You get that immediately when you check out. So at checkout, you get that, and you get the gifting card so you can gift it to somebody. As well as when we ship the book in February, you're going to also get the flowers that didn't make the book. Y'all, there's never enough room. And of course, I love signing the books. They're all going to be signed when they come from us. So pre-order your book. We appreciate it so very, very much. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. Remember that here in the app only, this does not happen on our website, all seed packet only orders ship for free, right? Standard shipping is capped over here in the app at $9.95, and I'll tell you later, there is a really big benefit to that today. And we ship to all 50 of the United States. Now, if you're watching us on social media, from Facebook or Instagram, we are so glad you're here. But what you need to know, there is a lot more stuff available to you inside the app. For one thing, you can be a part of the giveaway. You can also build a favorites list inside the app. You can just hit the favorites little star button and put things in there that you don't want to lose track of. You can also go in and watch the replays anytime you want. And if you click once you start the video, if you click the shop all button at the bottom of that video, it brings up all the items and all the flowers that I spoke about. You can scroll through, and if you touch that product, it skips the video right straight to that area. And I will tell you, it is so awesome to go back and watch the replays from like the summer when we were in high cotton in fresh flowers. You can just get a glimpse of that fresh flower, right? And of course, when you're in the app, the comments are lively. We love it. And you cannot even see those when you're on social media. So, so there's a couple other things. Sometimes during the live show or soon thereafter, we sell out of items because literally, y'all, our phone app and our big website are two freestanding stores. They do not communicate. Sometimes the team is working behind the scenes to bring stock over from the big website to refill the app if it happens to be available. So if you go to an item and it says sold out of stock, get on the wait list, you might want to get on the wait list. And because that way, the minute stock gets put in there, you'll get dinged that it is available. And lastly, we love it when you guys are putting in the sunflower emoji. Those are people identifying themselves as the Gardener's Workshop family. Those are our students, y'all. These are people that have taken any of our online courses. And once you take a course with us, you're ours for life. You're in our family, and we appreciate it so much. Now, you guys know that I absolutely love stuff away, right? Well, guess what I'm giving away today? A $25 store credit. So that means, Susie has the button up. You hit the buy button. You're not buying anything, but once you hit that button, it'll ask you if you want to get on the wait list. Get on the wait list. We'll pull that right before the end of the show, and one lucky viewer is actually going to have sitting in their cart when they go to check out a $25 credit. All right, so what do we do over winter, right? Well, it's all about, this is me. I'm already diving into stuff. Educating yourself over the winter. And one of the ways that we can do that is with books. And you do know, or you may not know, that all the books that ship from us, I sign every single one of them. And I love doing that, y'all. We wrap the books, and that's really a process that we love, taking that extra steps of TLC. So first up is the book set of my two books that are currently already available. That is Cool Flowers and Vegetables Love Flowers. You can buy these as a set for $48.90. And you can also buy them separately. They're listed in the app. And I will tell you that my book, Vegetables Love Flowers, is really a 3-season cutting garden, y'all. The book is about why flowers benefit vegetables. It's not about growing vegetables. And this really goes deep on succession planting of how you can have continuous flower blooms throughout the season that benefits not only you as the cut flower junkie, but all of the creatures it attracts to the vegetable garden that are beneficial. And then Cool Flowers is about the cool season, hardy annual. So we have another set, and that is the Cool Flower book and the seed collection. So this is my book that's all about how to grow cool season hardy annuals. And we have a seed collection that are 6 of my favorites. It comes with a diagram of how to plant. It comes with 6 individual packs of seeds. And the 2 of these together are $40.95. And this is just a great way to get started if you need to kind of have a refresher, maybe if you don't already have the book. And then we also have the Vegetables Love Flowers book available, also with our #1 customer favorite seed collection. And this is the Easy Cut Flower Garden. It also comes with a diagram and includes 6 of our work. These are the 6 workhorse flowers of my farm, y'all. And the collections come with additional instructions, as you can see here. And the two of these are $43.90. And this is just a great way to, I mean, y'all, I read the same books. Here's my theory on reading books. You don't want to read 50 different books. I have about 5 or 6 books that I read over and over again. When you find books that are instructive, those are the ones to go to. And I kind of cut out the fluff. So those are our books that are available. Now, the tip of the day is, gearing up for the 2024 seed starting season. And I will tell you, my inbox and our DMs are loaded, about February and March with people saying the same thing they were saying to me back in October and November about cool flowers. Is it too late for me to start? And I tell people now, yes, not planting at the optimal time causes a really big problem. And the next second biggest window to plant cool flowers is about to happen. But you have to get started to be ready on time. So hardiness, it doesn't matter what your hardiness zone is. Everybody plants in very early spring, right? So very early spring, notice I put the word very in front of early spring. Very early spring is 6 to 8 weeks before your last expected frost date. So as an example, my expected last frost date is mid-April. So my planting time, I go for 8 weeks. 8 weeks before that, guess what, is mid-February. We use Valentine's Day as the marker. So that means that my goal is to have seeds started and grown up into a nice sized transplant, some of which I have to show you today, 3 to 5 inches tall, that are ready to be planted in mid-February, y'all. And that's where people just get really kind of confused. They think, mid-February, I'll start getting my stuff together. No, friends. This is what we start doing right out of the gate in January, because transplant growth takes time. And there's lots of variables. What is your environment? Is it warm enough? Is it cool enough? Did you start them on a Seedling Heat Mat? But we kind of, as a general expectation, look that we need 4 to 6 weeks before that transplant date of mid-February to grow our babies up, right? So, and then there are some stuff that are just notorious slow growers. For instance, in the cool season hardy annual category, Rudbeckias, black-eyed Susans, which we grow about 9 different ones, we fall planted them, but we often plant them again in very early spring in my effort to extend my bloom season. They are notorious slow growers. So literally I could start them 1st of December if we so desired. So cool flowers, which are cool season hardy annuals, thrive in cool to cold conditions, y'all. That is the part that people have trouble wrapping their heads around. We're talking about sweet peas and snapdragons and feverfew and there's just bells of Ireland. There are so many. So don't get caught without your seeds and supplies to start on time. So we'll get this right. And I used to be tardy on this too when I first started growing cool flowers. But I'm here to keep reminding you people, you can't start them if you don't have the stuff. And if you don't start them, you can't plant them. And you can't plant them on time. So as a special today, for the deal of the day, we have brought over here to the app, which normally is not in here, is the Soil Block Maker Complete Kit. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff I'm going to show you here, actually. So here's just a picture of everything that is actually in this kit. And what is really special about this today is that here in the app, we have a shipping cap of $9.95, right? Well, depending on where you live in the United States, you can save at least $8. Some people will save up to $35 because that's how much additional shipping you normally would be paying, because that's how much it costs to ship it, y'all. So the big value here is a big shipping savings. All right, so let me just tell you what is actually in this kit. So Suzanne, will you hold that? So this kit includes the Soil Block Maker Kit. which includes, she's holding it for me now. So it comes with 5 of the large trays. It comes with the seed pan. It also comes with the plant marker. It comes with 5 packs of seeds. And friends, these are our top selling customer favorite seeds. And you can actually choose warm or cool. It's up to you. We have 5 cool and 5 warm. It also includes my seed starting made easy online course. And y'all, I just watched this course again. This course is awesome. I mean, it tells you everything you need to know to get started and taking you through the whole process of soil blocking and even planting directly in the garden. It also includes the small soil blocker, which I'm getting ready to demo for you. And it includes the nutrient that you mix with your peat moss and your compost to make enough soil blocking mix to make about 3,000 of those little tiny blocks. And it also, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to show y'all. Comes with our little toothpick holder, because toothpicks are how we sow, which you're gonna see me do that in just a minute. Now, this complete kit also includes the fertilizer that I use in my watering can. This is Neptune's Harvest. It also includes the fungus gnat sticky traps, which is what we use to capture and monitor for those. I also include the burlap, which is what I lay on the top of my blocks to actually help trap moisture but allow air. It also includes, y'all, the row cover. This is 6.5 feet wide by 50 feet long. Complete kit means complete kit, y'all. It has all of that. And then it also includes the Seedling Heat Mat, which has the built-in thermostat. And we're not done yet, friends. It also includes the grow light. This is our tabletop grow light. You can see it looks a little crooked, right? That's because it's adjustable. These seedlings are taller at this end, so the light's a little higher, but they're down lower here. This if this had, and it doesn't quite, if this had 4 trays of 60, this light can support 240 of these little soil blocks till they go out to the garden, y'all, or till you harden them off. And so this is 12 by 24 inches. It is truly a seed starting kit that you can put anywhere in your house, anywhere in your home.
Oh, and the timer.
And the timer, sorry, great, thank you. And it also, the grow light, we include the timer because you have to have a grounded timer because our grow light is on 16 hours a day. Ours comes on at 6 o'clock in the morning and goes off at 10 o'clock at night. So literally, friends, this kit has everything you need, whether you're a beginner or somebody that's been starting seeds another way, to go from the beginning to support them and even to get them outdoors in the garden. And it's $333.95 plus $9.95 shipping. Y'all, that is totally an amazing value. So includes the grow light, the timer, and normally it's not even over here in the app. So it has everything that you need in there, and it includes my online course. Now, I want to show you, because we're going to do the demo now, right? So we're going to go down and do the demo, and I'm going to show you how I soil block and some of the thoughts and processes that I'm thinking of as I do it. For some reason, I just have more stuff today than I normally have.
Can you see?
All right, yep, I can see that. All right, friends, so I'm going to kind of answer some of these questions that I frequently get. Does it take special soil? Well, it is special. It's not special, it's just different. This is actually a mix, and we give you the recipe. The recipe is always on our website. It's on the nutrient mix when you get it, and it is basically either peat moss or cocoa coir. You can choose what you want to use, and compost along with some nutrient. And then it is very wet. That may be, I don't know if you guys can really see just the moisture down here. It's kind of like soggy oatmeal, and that's what allows it to come out of the blocker, which you're going to see here. Now, the reason this block and mix is different is because to be able to handle these blocks and for them to really hold up, you want them to really bind together. And we believe in living soil. That just means that it's not sterile, which I know that some methods may call for, but we like soil that has actually got living microbes in it. And so we then mix that blocking mix with water. It's 3 parts dry to 1 part water. And so I've already done that. And y'all, I use a potato masher to mix my soil. It works really, really well. Now, first I'm going to show you how I use, this is the one that Bobo uses. This is the 3/4 inch blocker. And this is the one that we use probably more than any other. And I typically like to push my blocker down into the soil twice to make sure that the chambers, the little individual chambers that are there, are actually full. And then I don't know if I mentioned that one of the things that really allowed me to really become a flower farmer was not only this seed starting method, but figuring out how to use trays that don't have drainage holes. So I could do it anywhere in my home because, friends, y'all know I still don't have a greenhouse, right? So I use flat bottom trays with no drainage holes. You just place the blocker on it and give it a squeeze. And there you go. It makes the 20 blocks. Now, the really cool thing about this is that, you know, we typically plant in this block and grow in this block till it goes to the garden. We don't really do a lot of bumping up here. I will show you a couple of cases that we do bump up, but in general, this is the block that we make. So this is the, do we call this the small block? Mm-hmm. So this is the small blocker, which would hold, let me make another set. So the small block tray holds 2 sets of 20. And so that means that on this little 5x7-ish tray, I should have cleaned my blocker off. This is 40 blocks. That means that you can grow 40 plants in this small of a footprint. And that is what drew me to this method in the very beginning. And then I learned how they just grow exceptional transplants. They grow quicker. You shave off some of the growing time. And I mean, this is just, we'll see more of these in a moment, but look at this. This is feverfew. And friends, this is in the 3/4 inch block. I'm going to pull this back and reveal it. Look at this. These are ready. This is the size that would go to the garden. They're 4 weeks old. Look at this. So this is the large tray, and this is 60 plants. All right, so while we're down here, let's look how we make and when do we use the 2-inch blocker, right? So this is the 2-inch blocker, and this makes 4 of the 2-inch block. And so how do I decide and when do I use the large blocker? The only time that I use the large blocker is when the seed just simply will not go into the small block. It just busts it wide open, right? So, because what you're going to see here in just a moment is that the 2-inch blocker takes up a lot more space and a whole lot more soil. So you just want to, when we need to use it, we use it. But we don't use it very, very often for this very reason. All right, so let me get this tray. So I don't quite have enough room under the camera. Let's see here if I can get these to come out without knocking the camera. Wait a minute, y'all. Oh, there you go. Just came out. All right, so see those big holes in the top of the block? That is because this 2-inch blocker has the inserts installed on it. And what that does, Suzanne, no, I want those. So I think we need to come up for this. Can we come up now?
Sure.
All right, so I want to show you a little bit about some of the transplants and when I bump up and when, in what situation we actually do that in. All right, so first, let me set stuff around. All right, so Just so happens, because I'm doing some filming next week, that I have tomato transplant started. Y'all, it is way too early to start transplants for most of the world, right? But this is my tray of tomatoes that we just started. And I pulled a couple of them out, but then I thought I wanted to show you. Have you ever tried to grow transplants without a grow light? This is what happens to them. They grow long, tall, and rangy. These actually sprouted before we realized it, and they got really tall and rangy. Why do plants do that? Because they're searching for light. So I have this tray. These are actually beefsteak tomatoes. So I need the little wooden. So normally, so what I think about as a flower farmer, as a home gardener, I'm always looking to make the most out of my heat mat space and my grow light. So we start all of our tomatoes, all of our peppers, eggplant, always in the small block. But they are one of those exceptions that I like to actually pot them up into the 2-inch block, because I need a bigger plant before it goes to the garden. Now, folks that are in, so this is the perfect stage to pot up. I'm gonna hold it like this. I don't know if y'all can see the little roots that are coming along. So if you live where there's a short growing season, you know what I'm talking about. You want a bigger seedling to go to the garden. And this is how we do it. Literally, you just tuck that little 3/4 inch block right down in that hole, give it a little push to make sure it's made contact. Y'all, that is it. I cannot wait. And I guess probably by mid-January, we are gonna have some of the most beautiful transplants of tomato plants to show you. But again, you're not gonna start tomatoes where you are until you're about 4 weeks away from your planting date for whenever that is. So another time that I use the 2-inch block is when I'm growing sweet peas. So these are sweet peas that are about 10 days old. You can see the root is just coming through. Well, a sweet pea seed is just too big to go into a small block, right? So we use the large, when we need to use it, we love using the 2-inch blocker, but we just don't use it as often. So if the seed is too big, that's when we use it. Or if we want to grow up even more, to grow them even larger. Another one I pot up is eucalyptus. So that is the 2-inch block. And now I want to sow seeds. I want to just show them very briefly. Oh shoot, I guess. So if you could hold that, Suzanne. So one of the things that comes with most of our kits is the aluminum seed pan, right? And the reason we use this is there's no static electricity, right? So put a little saliva on the end of your toothpick, and these are literally eucalyptus seeds, and they're tiny, y'all. Literally, he just jumped right on to my toothpick, because guess what? There's no static electricity holding the seed inside the pan. So we just dump a few in there, and I mean, it's really pretty remarkable how easily the seed literally hops on to the block. And then I'm firmly placing it on the surface. And people always say, well, how do I know whether to do that or not? Well, your seed packet should tell you. Ours does. It should tell you cover or don't cover with actual soil. And so for the instance, like a tomato, it does need darkness, which means pushing it deeper into the block to do that. And look at this. This is basil that is just being born. Gosh, y'all, this is lemon basil. Oh my gosh. You know, and the smell of tomato plants, that's worth just starting some just to have around. You know, that's like a therapeutic thing, right? Oh my goodness. So this is 60 basil plants. And again, these are started for videoing. It's still too early for us.
This is on the set, so you need to show the set.
So the set, you can buy the soil blocking tools without the kit ingredients if that's what you'd like. That includes the large 2-inch blocker, the small 3/4 inch, and it includes the actual inserts. And that's $84.95. And then you'll be ready to start transforming your seed starting however you're doing it. Now we want to do just the soil block maker kit. So This is included in the complete kit, but you can buy it let's just say you already have a grow light and you already have a heat mat, right? And so let's look at what all's included here. All right, so this kit includes 5 foam trays. This holds 3 clusters of 20, so 60 plants, the seed pan, the wooden plant markers. It includes the little toothpicks that has, the gardener's workshop on them. It also includes your choice of either cool or warm 3 packs of seeds. It also includes the Seed Starting Made Easy, my online course that's about 80 minutes long, taking you through the whole process as well as direct sowing. It also includes the small blocker and the nutrient mix, which you add your compost and your cocoa fiber or cocoa core that combined will make about 3,000 of those small blocks. So it really goes a really long way. Your goal is that you want to make a really dense binding blocking mix. That's what's different than other seed starting mixes, right? So you can just buy the individual tools. You can buy the small blocker if you'd like. It's $38.95, as well as you can buy the 2-inch blocker. Maybe you have the small blocker and you're realizing now, gosh, I want to pot up tomatoes or my eucalyptus, or I want to start zucchini or sunflowers. That is the 2-inch blocker, and it comes with this nipple installed on it to make a dimple to receive your large seed, right? So that's the 2-incher. Now, if you get I definitely recommend if you're going to get the 2-inch blocker that you get the inserts. You just pop those nipples out and install the inserts. And so I leave my inserts on my 2-inch blocker all the time. I'll drop, like, for instance, a watermelon seed or something down in the bottom of it, and then just put a little scoop of soil on top of it to cover it. Just makes it more convenient. That means you can jump back and forth from potting up to actually planting seeds in it. Now, back to the blocking mix, this is the perfect, January, I'll say, maybe not now, not Christmas season, is the perfect time to get your ingredients ready to make your blocking mix. And so we have what is called the soil set. And this is the soil set, y'all. And I'm going to show you everything that's in here. Again, we have the aluminum seed pan, which has no static electricity in it. This includes the toothpick holder, which, has the Gourd. It's branded with our business. It's got 10 really great toothpicks in there. It also includes the sticky traps for monitoring and capturing adult fungus gnats. It also includes the DIY nutrient mix, which again, you add your peat moss and compost to, and it makes about 3,000 of those small blocks. And friends, all your peat moss and all your compost, anytime you're seed starting, you should sift. You will not believe the chunks that's in everything. And they're great to throw out in your garden, but they're just not good for seed mix. This sifter fits perfectly on the top of a 5-gallon bucket. I love this thing. This is the job to do in January, February, and March when it's cold or cool outside. Set up a table, have your bale of peat or whatever you're using, a few bags of compost, I use trash cans with lids, and I just sift. It's a great outdoor job because it's a little dusty, and have all your ingredients ready for you to hit the ground running to make blocking mix all season long. People tend to make it really complicated, and why is that? Because every time they go to make soil blocks, they have to sift. Y'all, you just sift the product and get it ready and go, and it's super easy, and we know it just grows amazing soil blocks. So the soil set is $53.80, but you can also purchase this all by itself. It's $19.95 plus $9.95 shipping, and I just can't tell you. We actually used a new one. We used a clean one at the warehouse on Friday to strain the fruit out of our punch that was left over. And just side note, y'all, we use stuff for a lot of the different uses. We also, by popular demand, created a little set of the seed pan, and our toothpicks. It's $2.95. If you have a seed sower in your life, I'm telling you, this aluminum seed pan changed my seed starting speed unbelievably. So you can get both of those together for $2.95, as well as you can purchase the DIY nutrient to make blocking mix separately. It's $14.95. The recipe is right on the front. But as I said earlier, it's always on our website, y'all. This is not something, this is Elliot Coleman's recipe, not mine. I didn't make this up. And so we love this. And the reason that we sell this, see, it's powder. It's rock phosphate powder and green sand. And those are very difficult for some people to locate. So that's why we have it available.
Where do you keep your soil mix? Inside, outside? How do you store it?
Okay, somebody has asked, where do I store my soil blocking mix, ingredients, or even when it's mixed, right? And that's a great question. We tend to keep it in a garage or inside this building. We don't want it to freeze, not because freezing hurts it, it's just that you can't use it if it gets frozen solid, right? So I tend to process it outside, put them in galvanized trash cans, and those trash cans are literally sitting over there. And in each trash can, or actually in one trash can, I have an 8-cup measuring cup, and then I have an additional 8-cup measuring cup that I put the water in. And I know that I take 3 scoops of this, 1 scoop of that. You know what I mean? It's just so simple, y'all, when you're all set up. But storing it indoors is recommended. So these are our reusable foam trays. Y'all, we do not intend for you to throw these away. They last for years and years, and that's why people hate them, because people throw them away, but we use them as part of our process. They're a tool. This is the small. This holds 2 clusters of 20, and on a tight fit, it'll hold 2 clusters of 8. 2 clusters of 4 of the 2-inch blocks to make for 8. These are $2.95 for a 5-pack, or 25 pack is $12.95. So this is what we call the large tray. It holds 3 of those 20 clusters, so it holds 60. It's a 5-pack for $3.95, or a 25-pack for $15.95. We just wash them up, or sometimes we don't even wash them, y'all. And we can write on them, or we use our masking tape on there. So here is that Seedling Heat Mat that you saw in the complete kit. This will hold 3, sometimes 4 of those small foam trays we were just looking at to get your seedlings to actually sprout quicker, to sprout more uniformly. Has a built-in thermostat that heats this up to 15 to 20 degrees warmer than the surrounding air temperature. I will tell you that this tool is the most resisted thing that people that are trying to start seeds. And this is why all of the steps are important. But when this is missing, it's one of the key pieces what causes failure. Most seeds in general sprout at 75 to 85 degrees. And right now you're probably thinking, oh, well, I keep my house at 72 degrees, so I should be okay. Friends, that's 72 degrees air temperature in your house. We're talking about 75 to 85 soil temperature. So soil, or a mass of soil, is basically 15 to 20 degrees cooler than the air temperature. So let's just say your house is 70. That means your soil in a soil block that's not on a heat mat is about 55 degrees, which explains why people can't get stuff to sprout, right? So this has a built-in thermostat that warms this up to 15 to 20 degrees warmer than the air temperature. Y'all, this is just one hopping spot in the process. So Seedling Heat Mats, farmers with greenhouses have heat tables in their greenhouses, y'all. It's that important. So, all right, next up, oh, where's my pen? Isn't that what we're doing next? Waterproof pen? Oh, here it is. All right, y'all. Literally, I could not farm or garden without this guy. This is a garden marker that truly withstands UV rays and moisture. This lasts at least a season. We've seen it last longer than that. It's a fine point, so it writes small enough. It'll write on wood, plastic. We use it on masking tape, Love this thing. It's $6.95, and we have them all over this building. And just totally love. You need to know the dates. You need to know what you're marking stuff. And this means when you go back to read it, it hasn't vanished, as happens when you use Sharpies, which are not made to be used outdoors, right? So that is the garden marker. All right, I mentioned earlier about the burlap that comes in the complete kit. You can purchase it separately. This is a 3x3, 3 foot by 3 foot approximately square. It's wide weave, you can see, that allows air to pass through. And I lay this on top of my block. So I sow my seeds. I put them on the Seedling Heat Mat in there. And then I just pull out, I have a big piece that just comes across my heat mat, and I just lay it on top. And each morning when I come out, I pull it back and I water. Once I see seeds starting to crack, I remove the burlap, y'all, because those seedlings will quickly pop through the burlap. And then when you go to take it off the next day, it'll rip them out. But this helps it to retain moisture. We just never use domes. Domes can, if they are not really closely attended to, can encourage diseases like dampening off. This allows air circulation so you don't have to be such a close watcher, which I am not, y'all. I visit my grow room 1 time a day. In the morning, I water, move anybody around that needs to be moved, and they don't see me till the next day. This works great. It's $3.95 for a 1-pack or $9.95 for the 3-pack. Now, you can also buy the fertilizer that we use. I use this in the watering can. We also do soil drenches and foliar feed. This is Neptune's Harvest. It's pretty stinky, so we would never foliar feed out in the field after the plants get actual buds on them, because you don't want to stink anybody out, right? I follow the directions for my seedlings for the houseplant dose on here, and just follow the instructions. This is absolutely phenomenal. We love it. So I featured this last week a few of my must-have tools. And this, y'all, not only, I used to be a Felco number 2 user. I mean, that's what I used for probably the first 10 or 12 years of farming, back when I was a young whippersnapper. But I quickly figured out that not only were my hands aging, but the Felcos were just getting heavier in my hand. I mean, literally, I use them all day, right? These little shears, which are actually bonsai shears, are all that I use now. I cut woodies, hydrangeas, all the sunflowers, everything that we do with this little shear. Now, the reason that I can tell you that these last from season to season is because I use a pouch. This means it has a clip. You don't have to have a belt on. You can just slide this clip over your pants pocket, because I don't go out with a pair of clippers without a pouch, because that means that I never lay my clippers down in the garden and then you get a phone call, then you forget about your clippers and you never see them again. I mean, I live that story over and over again. Having a pouch is an insurance policy. Totally love this pouch. And you can get the shears and the pouch for $60.90. And if you're a flower farmer and you've started your business, or you're starting your business, these are all business expenses. If you truly use the tools in your business, you know talk to your CPA, but that's pretty basic information, right? So totally love that. And then the other one, oh my goodness, y'all, we just got these back in stock, I think. These are the Japanese hand hose. Every person on this farm loves this tool. We just use it for everything. This is the right-hand version with the paper cover, and this is the lefty. Because if you're a lefty, you cannot use the right-hand version. The proper way to use a hoe, if my hand's the soil, the blade is flat on the ground, you sink it down about 1/2 inch, and you pull the blade through the soil, instead of what most people do is turn it like this and scrape soil and make piles of soil. You don't want to do that. You simply just hold it in a different position and pull it through the soil, and it actually takes out everything in its path. This is what I use to thin with. We use it to grade mulch, to grade the top of beds, to pull the trough, to plant seeds. We have like a whole bucket of these out here on the carport. We just love them so much. So it's $24.95, and you select a lefty or a righty, whichever you need for the job. And I'm going to tell you that I am a new believer in the garden knife. This is a Hori Hori gardening knife. And Suzanne calls it a rock harvester. But I'm telling you, I use it for so much. You want to know what I started using it for this year? I was building a raised bed and applying the Bio 360, you know, that I love so much. That's biodegradable film. And I needed to make a divot to put the bio down into on the edges. This thing worked like a dream. Totally love this for planting in the shade garden where there's more roots. The Hori Hori is $46.95. It does come, I need water, please. It does come with this sheath, but you do need to wear a belt for this. We love the garden knife Hori Hori digging tool. Now remember, if you want to be entered for the giveaway, which is a $25 store credit, y'all, if you're in the app, hit that button, and that will put you on the tap the buy button, and then get added to the wait list, and that is what we're going to pull from here in just a few more minutes. Thank you. Sorry, y'all.
Everybody's loving on the hoe right now.
Oh,
Promise.
I'm telling you, that hoe is, once you know how to use a hoe properly, the nightmares of what your parents maybe asked you to do with a hoe when you were a kid that seemed like it never worked very good, go away. It's pretty amazing. All right, so now, in case you joined late, if you would like to submit a question for us to choose from, for me to answer a few questions at the end of the show, just type your question. I would love to answer your question about whether it's seed starting or flower farming or whatever. Just put @Lisa, and I'll answer those questions. Now, I want to talk about storing seeds properly. The secret to storing seeds properly is cool, dry, and dark, right? Dark is what they are if they're in a package. Cool is the air temperature, and dry, this is what helps you to keep them dry. This removes the any condensation that may be a result of humidity in the air. These are desiccant packs. You can get a 2-pack for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. Because friends, I'm telling you, you can store seeds oftentimes for years if they're stored properly, and they'll be totally viable. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but when you buy, I use here on the farm the very same seeds that you're buying from us. We actually send our seed order now up to the warehouse. They pull our seeds off the shelf just like where your orders come from. And, that just helps me to know. That just allows me to do like a quality check, right? I mean, for a lot of different things. But I'm growing the same seed from the same seeds that you're growing from. And we still, friends, have some of those 70% off mystery grab bags. There are 6-pack. First off, we only sell the seeds of the stuff that we actually use, right? And so you can be assured that all the packs that are in these grab bags are great seeds. And they're just packaged for 2023. They will still be good for several years, potentially if you store them properly. We have, first up, vegetable and herb seeds. You say $8.31, y'all, for 6 packs of quality, gorgeous seeds. Then we also have a 6-pack of regular sunflower seeds, which is $10.71. That is $35 off, y'all, if you bought them all individually. We also have what we call the regular warm season seeds. These are all the other warm season tender annuals like celosias and ageratum, and there's just a wide variety of different ones that you can get. $8.31, y'all. Then we have 2 jumbo mystery bags left available. One of them is of the warm season tender annuals. Like I just was mentioning, that's the celosias and ageratums and others that are mixed in there. As well as, y'all, there is jumbo cool season hardy annuals. $23.31. Jumbos mean that there's usually 4 times the volume of seeds as there is in a regular pack. So that is really a savings. And if you store them properly, you'll be in business, right? All right, we also have seed collections available. Now we're back to 2024 package seeds, y'all. And so this is a great starter set or gift. I mean, think Valentine's Day, y'all. That is just right around the corner. This is really a lot of fun. And so as I mentioned earlier, I was just going to open this up. These all of these that I'm getting ready to mention to you have these additional instructions from me as well as diagrams on the back. And the first one up is the Cool Season Hardy Annual. This is a all direct seeded. You don't even have to be an indoor seed starter. And this includes 6 packs of seeds. And, oh, there's the pink. And I have to tell y'all, this is one of our favorites. This is the Planet Pink. You know, I don't know if y'all knew that I had breast cancer about 12 years ago. I think it's been that long. Might even been longer than that, 2006, whenever that was. And this seed collection grew out of that. And there's a really sweet story that we include with it. And so this is 6 different warm season tender annuals that all have the pink family. And this is just a great way to talk about breast cancer, right? And so that's the Planet Pink. And then also, again, this is our #1 customer favorite. This is the cut flower seed collection. And it's got 6. It's got the giant zinnias and the lime green zinnias and my favorite mini zinnia, sunflowers, Cox Comb, and the basil mix. Y'all, we have so many people now today that are flower farmers that started out with one of these years ago. It hooked them. I mean, it's so easy to be successful. I tell you exactly how to plant them. These can be direct sown, but I prefer to start them indoors, and it has everything. All the instructions are right there. So friends, I'm getting ready to tell you 2 hot pieces of news. Our Jura salmon Cox Comb. Flower farmers know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a gorgeous salmon Cox Comb that's been unavailable for several years now. Well, we had somebody grow it for us. This is it dried because I don't have it fresh now, right? But we will have that seed coming on board in January. Or I should say January, February. We have the seed in hand. It's going to packaging. And if you want to be notified and to be sure that you actually get some of the seed, I think we have enough to go around, get on the wait list right now. And this is just the dried version of that. But this Cox Comb is so scrumptious. And with the color of the year being peach fuzz, it's like a marriage made in heaven. We also, so these first 4 I'm doing are warm season tender annuals. Obviously Cox Comb is, right? You'll be buying that seed in January. But here's one I'm starting in January. This is eucalyptus. This is the silver dollar. It's the one that's got the larger leaf. Eucalyptus is a really slow grower. So literally that is the first seed we start. Right after that, it's Rudbeckia. 2 slow pokes. So this is the silver dollar, and we do have this seed available, but you need to be getting that one started right out of the gate. And then this is not the best example, y'all, but we found it. This is Polyanthumus. Actual eucalyptus. The leaf is just really different, and see how it's kind of a different color. We do have this seed available, and again, the key with eucalyptus, because it's not winter hardy everywhere, is to have the biggest transplant you can as soon as you can plant it outside when your spring frost is past. So we started early, and then we bump it up from the 3/4 inch to the 2-inch block and grow it as fast and big as we possibly can. So that's the Polyanthumus. And then I wanted to show you this. These are the last sunflowers. They're dried, obviously, y'all. This was our last sunflower harvest. Some of those late ones that we pushed the envelope. But think about using these actually in wreaths and different things. So they look pretty dadgum good. So we don't have many dried sunflowers because we always used them all up. So that is the Pro Cut Mix that we were actually showing there. And so friends, you know, I'm learning there's so much. I think you could just be a dried flower kind of farmer, right? You could. So we have, where's the decorative ones that go with this? So I want to show you our little spinning gourd. Y'all have heard me talking about these all season. These are these amazing little tiny gourds that are awesome, fresh in the fall for tablescapes. I mean, they look so great fresh. But y'all, look at one of the little ways. They dry just like other gourds do so you can make crafts. Look at these little reindeer that Susie made. She's our resident crafter. And these are made as an ornament. They're on a little wire. And I'm telling you, these little gourds could keep your kids busy all winter long. She painted some of them. We had them as ghosts for Halloween. And so these are super sweet in all stages. That is the Spinning Gourd, which is a warm season tender annual. And they're pretty quick. They go from seed to barren gourds, I think in like 60 days, if memory serves me. So you would plant them like when you plant actual tomatoes. So let's look at some cool flowers. This is the stuff that we're starting in right out of the gate in January. Y'all look at this. This is straw flowers. We pluck the flowers off, and I actually use this for an event. These are all the dried flower blooms in here. Straw flowers actually keep their color indefinitely, and that's what, see the million behind me? That was when my podcast hit 1 million. Susie made that out of straw flowers. Straw flowers is the underdog in the flower farming world. It is an easy keeper. It's a great grower. It lasts forever. It dries. We love straw flowers. So the king size mix is up for you to choose from. However, you can find the individual colors also in the app. We grow them all. Creamy white, oh my gosh, and the peach mix. They're just phenomenal. So that's straw flowers. And so here's the other seed that's going to be coming available in January, y'all. I cannot wait for you. It is the Monarda limbata. This is dried, so it's not real fancy looking right now. We love this stuff. So get on the wait list now if you want to be notified as soon as this is packaged and coming on board. We've had this grown for us. This is a great cool flower. We fall and very early spring plant it. The bumblebees love it. I mean, it's a great cut, and it's a pretty decent dried cut flower. And so here is another one. Look at this. Is this not the coolest dried? This is Crest, and this is coming on board in January. It's a cool flower. I would start it immediately. They grow pretty quick, so actually this would be one of the last cool season hardy annuals that we would start. So this we grow. The first time I grew this and it bloomed, I'm like, what's all the hoopla about, people? This is like this little tiny flower. Well, friends, it's the seed pod that comes after the flower. That's what all these little lumpy things are you're seeing here. And this is a really, really cool flower. So that is Cress, and that, get on the wait list and you'll get notified just as soon as it comes. Now, y'all know that I'm a really big fan of feverfew. This is the White Wonder. This is like the double most fluffy of all of them. And it dries pretty decently. And so that White Wonder I find to be the most, the easiest to germinate and sprout, and just they're all strong growers. Some of the hybrids can be a little bit testy, but this is a really great one. And then this is my favorite. This is Virgo, which is that tight little button one. And then I will say it's my favorite. This is truly my favorite. This is the single. These look like little daisies. Can y'all see that? And it really looks pretty decent, dried. And then y'all, this is the beauty of the whole thing. Look at this. Y'all cannot imagine how beautiful this is in person. This is Ami Magus, Queen of Africa. It is really, really beautiful. And a lot of these were in seed pod when we actually dried them. And then this is one of my newfound loves. This is Cerinthe. See how blue they are? Cerinthe is, we'll have a lot more of that this year. This one got a little flat, but they held up and they're blue, so we really love them. Look at this. This is Pincushion, Scabiosus. This is Ping Pong. Look at these seed pods. And y'all, they're cool dried. They're gorgeous fresh. And this is Carthamus Safflower. This is one of my favorites for foliage. I cut it before it blooms. I cut it in bud, and I cut it in bloom, and now we also dry it. Really amazing. And this is another Scabiosa. The scabies really do dry really well. This is Fata Morgan. And it's a nice light. It's actually a buttercream color, but it dries pretty decently. And this was a new guy on board 2 years ago. We absolutely love Amobium. Amobium is like a little tiny straw flower. It's like feverfew and straw flowers got together and had a baby, and that would be what they look like, y'all. And then here, this is Yarrow. This is Colorado Sunset, and you know, it just holds up really, really well. And then y'all know that I am a huge fan of Rebecca's. This is Goldilocks. And I know it's like you look at it and say, well, it's like a dried up flower. Well, y'all, that's what dried flowers are. But when you're making wreaths and stuff, to have a pop of color like this is just absolutely beautiful. And you know, we just went to Colonial Williamsburg for our company party and walked and looked at all the dried wreaths on the doors. Unbelievably beautiful. And particularly, I mean, so don't underestimate the power of dried flowers. All right, y'all, so it's time to wrap it up. You know, this is the last show of the year, y'all. I can hardly let y'all go, right? All right, so remember, over on our big website, thegardenersworkshop.com, that we have all kinds of resources for you. We have videos, we have blogs, we have 2 podcasts. Both of them are available on podcast apps everywhere. There's Field and Garden, and then there's Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And friends, if you don't already follow me on Instagram and Facebook or Pinterest or TikTok or wherever, I post a lot of stuff. A lot of great information. And I mean, we're just really trying to get it out there. And we love it when you like it and you share it with your friends. It helps us so much. And this Wednesday is Ask a Flower Farmer on Instagram. You go over to Instagram at 12:30 on Wednesday, and I will be on there for 30 minutes answering your questions. This is the last show for 2023. The next one up is, can y'all believe it, January 5th, 2024. But remember, you can go in, when you have the app on your phone, you can go in and watch replays and shop anytime. We know now that more people go in and shop and watch when it's not live. You know, they must be working, right? And friends, I also want to remind you, please pre-order a copy of my new book, The Cut Flower Handbook. You'll find that over at thegardenersworkshop.com. That big yellow banner that's on the top of each page. Go over there and look at the sales page. Y'all, the pictures are beautiful. They are so vibrant. And now we have to announce the winner of the $25 giveaway. And so I hope you're here, because I love giving stuff away and you have to be here to claim it. So the winner of the $25 store credit is Sissy Murphy. Sissy Murphy, if you are here, give us a big old shout out, and Jesse will put that $25 credit right into your cart. So congratulations, and so stick around, and I am going to do the live Q&A now. So we're going to pull a couple of these questions out. So this is a great question. Are you going to restock Lysianthus seeds? No, we are not. When is the best time to start, Lizzie? And I'll tell you why in just a second. So Lysianthus is one of those super duper slow growers. And so you need to start it in a home situation, 16 weeks before you're supposed to plant them out. Our window to plant them out is mid-February. So it's already too late for us to start them, right? And would you use vermiculite to keep the green off since it takes so long to grow? So no. So why are we not restocking them? Because in addition to taking we tried them. We've done, this is the second time we've gone through this cycle of bringing them on and then we stop. And then we brought them back on. And the reason is, in addition to taking 12 to 16 weeks to actually grow, Lysianthus, as I say in the book, holds a grudge. If you do not keep the temperatures at what she needs to grow, which is 70 degrees or below, and that is really hard to keep them in that 65 to 70 degree window to keep them growing, but not going over 70, it causes the plants, they'll keep growing. But when you plant them outside, they do what's called rosette. They rosette, and that means they will never bloom. They just grow this little hardy looking little plant, but they never send up stems, and they never will. And we just have so many people, as myself being one of those, that just after 4 months of growing a baby plant, that is so frustrating. So we just really recommend people buy plugs. You can get them as a home gardener off of usually Burpee or Park Seed. They have them. And if you're a flower farmer, you need to pursue those avenues of getting plugs, because there are people out there doing it, but there's more failures than there is successes, and that's why we stopped doing that. And no, I do not use vermiculite. It's the watering that causes the green to grow. And vermiculite will not help that or hinder that. All right. Do I need a chamber like yours to grow my seeds inside? My seedlings are always puny. So no, you do not. A chamber only replaces it doesn't even replace. It's in addition to a heat mat. We still use a Seedling Heat Mat. I have a big 4-foot one, which you can find over at thegardenersworkshop.com. And a chamber is only for the sprouting, right? And that is not why seedlings are usually puny. Seedlings most often are puny for a couple of different reasons. The number one reason is overwatering. You might not think you're overwatering, but when you should be watering every morning. And when you go to water, the block should be just about dry. And if they're not dry, it's your environment. The air temperature's not warm enough, or they're not on grow lights, because plant roots need as much oxygen as they need water. And if it's moist all the time, which I find that to be a very common problem, the roots never really get oxygen. I mean, they're like treading water. Think about that. Treading water constantly. You never get to rest. You never get to. But when they get dry, they just take in big breaths of oxygen. And then you water them again in the morning, and they get happy with that. So watering is usually the problem for puny. What was the most challenging thing about making your new book? If you'd have asked me about 2 months ago, I'd have had a book full of challenges. But they're a little numb now. It is just what I'm really realizing as we've come out of creating the book. Jesse was a part of that. And our whole team. Were it not for the Gardener's Workshop team, there would be no book. Because what I realize now more than anything else is how much I walked away from everything else. I mean, our business has a lot of moving parts. And I was just able to totally remove myself from most of that stuff and just to focus on writing the book. Because it's more about than writing a book. You have to have images. You have to grow the flowers for the images. And you have to grow the flowers that are in the book that look, that to me is the most challenging, is the coordination of out-of-town photographer coming, that whole 9 yards. But I will tell you, it's very exciting. And now that the baby is about to be born, right? And so I think the first week or two in January, I should actually have a hardback book in my hand. I get one before y'all do. And you all will be the first to see it. So anyway, so that's what's the most challenging, is the scheduling, I think, probably. All right. Somebody asked, when do you fertilize seedlings? So we fertilize on Mondays I'm kind of out of the seedling watering job right now. On Mondays, in my watering can, I add the liquid fertilizer. And so everybody that's in the grow room that's not on a heat mat, if they're on the heat mat, they haven't sprouted yet, they do not need fertilizer yet. So anybody under the grow light or outside hardening off gets food every Monday. I'll say most Mondays. Sometimes I forget. And then I just do that until they're planted out in the garden. All right, let's see another one here. What time is it? We'll take one or two more. My spring planting day. Okay, my spring planting day, middle of February, is also when our temperatures are the coolest. Does outside planting temperature make a difference when planting? So that's a really great question. You are looking for cool temperatures. I know that it seems the complete opposite of what we've thought about planting all these years. Cool season hardy annuals want to be planted into cool to cold soil with cool air temperatures. So sometimes when we plant in mid-February, literally we sweep snow off of the bed tops. Because the other part of very early spring planting is we've prepared all of our beds last fall. They're just sitting out there right now, covered with a silage tarp, ready and waiting that we can just pull the tarp back, which means especially like if it snows or ices or rains a lot, it's not getting really wet underneath there. So yes, you want to plant into cool to cold weather. Of course, you need to harden off your seedlings. And then of course we hoop and row cover everything, mainly just to protect from varmints and whipping cold wind. All right. Can you tell us some of the slow growing warm season tender annuals that'll be starting in January? Okay, not many. Eucalyptus is the big one. And actually Dusty Miller is actually, I think it's a cool season hardy annual. I don't grow much Dusty Miller. If you do wedding work, people use a lot of Dusty Miller. I don't do wedding work, so I haven't grown a lot. But Dusty Miller's a slow grower is what I was getting around to. So eucalyptus was just warm season. I think that's the only warm season slow grower that we have. And eucalyptus is slow. I mean, so we start them in the small block to get great germination. I mean, a lot of people often say, why would you start in the small block if you're going to pot it up? Why don't you just start it off in the 2-inch block, right? Well, let me tell you, part of the key to success in seed starting with soil blocking, for me, can't speak for anybody else, is I have an excellent germination rate when I'm using those tiny little blocks. It's easier to keep them more evenly moist and warm. When you start getting to bigger blocks, and you put that little tiny seed on the surface, that block is usually either, just like it is in a plug tray or a peat pot or whatever you're using, the bottom half is usually either wet or dry and the top is the opposite. It's just really hard to regulate. So I would say eucalyptus is pretty much the only slow growing warm season tender annual that I can think of off the top of my head. Lisianthus, which is a cool season, would actually fall under that same deal. All right, friends, we're going to wrap. This is a wrap for 2023, and I want to say that my 1 million is no longer true. It's 1,100,000, and maybe in the new year we'll have a 1 over there where that 0 is. So, friends, thank you so much for joining me here. We appreciate y'all. Remember, if you have not signed up for our farm news, if you want to stay in the loop of everything that's happening for the Gardener's Workshop, we have a lot of moving parts. And we know there's so many people out there that are just discovering us. They don't realize all these other things that we do and have available for you guys. We would love for you to be a part of that. And our farm news is where you can find that. Or just visit thegardenersworkshop.com and just dive in, friends. So Merry Christmas from all of us here at the Gardener's Workshop. And Tucker too. And thank you so much. We appreciate your business and your support. We are here because of you all. So till we meet again, friends, in 2024, knee deep in seed starting. Ciao.